created hip-hop in 1973, not 1993, not 2003, not even in 83, in 73. Some of y'all, most of y'all wasn't even here yet. Wasn't even a thought, a memory. Your mamas and daddies was doing it. It was a blueprint that we had. See, the Zulus, since this is hip-hop history month, this quick history. The Zulus, we were gangs. I'm from Chicago, so I ran with the Vice Lords. I'm from the West Side. In New York, my cousin, Skitch, he's a Black Spade. I had another cousin live in Queens. He was what they call Seven Crowns. There were all these different gangs going at this time. Our great leader, Africa Bambaataa, he came, we used to have parties. They tell the story that Kool Herc is the father of hip hop. He came from Jamaica. He put the two turntables together and played break beats and gave music the backbone to the culture. But during that time, they couldn't have parties. Because every time they would have a party, the gangs would show up and shoot the party up or tear the party up. Black Spades was a large gang that Africa Bambaataa was the war chief for. So we got together with all the rest of the gangs and we created an organization called the Organization. That was the first name. Our job was to come to the party and stand around like this. So when your gang showed up, wasn't no fighting because your gang was part of our gang.
Right.
In 1974 in the Bronx River Projects, all the gangs in New York burnt their jackets. They took their colors off and put their colors in the fire. And the only flag that they flew from there was the Zulu flag. Bambaataa took the concept of Shaka Zulu and said all together and created a base with knowledge of self. Meaning now, my woman wasn't just my woman. She wasn't bitch. She wasn't hoe. She was a Malika, meaning my sister. Swahili for sister.
Come on.
My brother was an Aki. You see, meaning my brother. One of our first Malikas that we had, who became a Zulu queen, who holds the title right now today, and her name was Dana Owens, who y'all know as Queen Latifah.
Right.
We gave her name. The Zulu concept was not a New York concept, it was a global concept. It started in the Bronx, New York, where hip hop gave birth at. But it spread throughout the planet. In Chicago, we've been doing hip hop since '76. We started off as the Zulus, you had the Zulu Nation, you had all of these different things, and our thing was hip hop, the whole culture. A B-boy wasn't a dancer. A B-boy and a B-girl was somebody that did hip-hop. And when I was coming up, you had to know how to do it all. You couldn't just be an MC and you couldn't do no graph. You couldn't be an MC and you wasn't a B-boy on the floor. You couldn't be an MC and didn't know how to jump behind there and play your own music and cut and scratch. So we look for the ultimate in hip-hop. That means you practice all the elements at one time. So when you showed up at the party, you knew how to do it all. You were well-versed even in the history of it. The B-boy could have been a gang member who didn't break dance, do nothing. They just liked the vibration of the music and the culture that they heard. Now in the present era, we have forgot about hip-hop. We take hip-hop and we have erased the culture of it and we only look at the rap side of it. And in the rap side is the recording artist pretending because they have not studied the entire culture. The culture was created and it's not a black thing. Black people created it. But it was the Puerto Ricans that went to the floor. It was the Europeans that did the art. Most original graffiti writers were white boys. They weren't black. You had a couple of them that was for legendaries, even here. If we go back and talk graffiti here, in 77, 78, well 79 actually, we knew Upski. Upski was the dopest white writer we knew. He put his name up everywhere. He remember, matter of fact, he gave us our first hip hop book out of here, which was called Bomb the Suburbs. You see, we knew Hunter. But on the other side of town at the Greedy Green on the graffiti side, the legend was war. Then slang, then trickster, then orco.
Slang still here.
You see all of them still here. Then crack, who live right down the street, be with me every day. We looked at this as an art. It wasn't about money. We did this without money. When we talk MCing, we did this for not for money. Most MCs now, y'all rapping for a record deal. We didn't care nothing about that. Even in New York, when it first came out, they didn't care nothing about that. They didn't care nothing about that. That's why right now we have Zulu anniversary. We downtown Manhattan, big club. Cats jump up there and rock 9. They millionaires. And they'll rock for free. They don't say where the contract at. Because we love to do this. You ought to see Sunday night at SOBs. You supposed to be on that stage. That stage was star-studded, De La Soul, everybody. And they wasn't singing their songs. They had put on one beat that Starsky the Love Bug put on. And everybody got on the beat and acted a fool.
Yeah.
I wish I had my camera. We could have sold that straight up. That was better than BET, Just to see him rock raw. Just to see him rock raw. No cameras, no, you're making a video, none of that. MCing. MCing at its greatest. Freestyle at its greatest. And a little hip-hop lesson to freestylers. A freestyle, a lot of y'all got it twisted what freestyling really is.
Yeah, they do something.
You use freestyling and you just say a bunch of words together. That's not freestyling. That's a itty-bitty form of it. Freestyling is when you can take from your imagination and create a whole sequence of music from this to head. When you can come up on the stage, don't know what you're about to do, and the beat go on, and you make a hook plus the lyrics. You visualize a total song. Good freestylers can tell a story freestyling.
Come on.
Most cats that say they freestyle can't do that. They get up, they say, my name is so-and-so, your shoes is ugly, and I'll pop a cap in you. That's they freestyle. They can't get a story. I asked a young cat the other day, I said, what's the difference between, he called himself a gangster. So what's the difference between gangster rap then and gangster rap now? Gangster rap then, back then, told a story. Ice Cube walked you through a whole story at South Central. You felt it. You saw it. You was never even from South Central, but it was so described so well lyrically that he walked you on a vision all the way through it. If you didn't know no better, you ran and put on your crip rag to and started crip walking yourself, knew nothing about it. That was the difference. It was the craft. The female MC, she didn't represent like you see now. The industry, females are rappers now because they're recording artists pretending. The industry have turned them into harlots and whores.
Come on.
The original female artist, she wasn't even gay. She was just hardcore, what we call hardcore. Hardcore didn't mean gangster. Hardcore meant your music was hard. Your lyrics and delivery was hard. You was able to lay it down. You see, most artists now are not hardcore. Most artists can get whooped in a freestyle in a battle real quick because you have no pipes and no guns. You might got lyrics, but your voice sound this big. You up there, and somebody come up there with some thunder and lightning and run you clean off the stage. Y'all listen to Phenom. Listen how loud he is on the mic when he doing it.
Yeah.
Listen to the passion in it.
Yeah.
So in a freestyle, you don't stand a chance because the guns come out. You see, this is the art of hip hop. Hip hop was a culture that we love. It took me, I was supposed to be in prison, y'all. I did some crazy stuff when I was young. I was out there bad, real bad, 17, 18. I'm glad none of y'all knew me because you probably would have been my victim. Seriously, my victim. It was hip hop that took me away from that. It was a brother, Africa Bambaataa, who said, look, we ought to put down them guns, man, all that fighting stuff. We order y'all to dance. And that's what we did. And we rhymed. And we painted. And we expressed ourselves. And we learned to love each other with the culture. And we took the culture all over the world. And in China, they say Zulu Nation. In Russia, they say Zulu Nation. In India, they say Zulu Nation. In Bucktoo, Tennessee, in the mountains, hick town, where you think racism is so big, you'll go up there, somebody say, Universal Zulu Nation. Our brother Shock G from Digital Art Underground gave us a theme. He said, all around the world, same song. You see? The culture. Right now today, the culture flourishes all over the planet. I just come back this weekend internationally. Zulus from Australia, Zulus from France, from England, from Japan. 5 Zulus, DJ Yataka, and 5 more flew out of Japan. How much that cost? They had been putting that money together, raising that money just to come to New York to be with the rest of the Zulus worldwide. Most of the Zulus that are with me, Fifth Element, I'm the universal king for this side of the world. I'm next to Bambaataa. I'm the 5th son of Bambaataa. I just live here in Chicago. I've seen hip hop all over the planet. I've been there. I've touched places that I hope some of y'all can touch. I've seen the wall of China. I've been to the foothills of Mount Fuji. I've been to the hottest temples in India. I've been to underground clubs in Germany, London, and you name it. I done been there. And all over the world, this culture flourishes with young people like you. And you know what most of the real hip hoppers do? You know what they really do? They do community. This is what I started to see separate from real hip hop culture versus rap. Rappers don't do shit for the community. Excuse my French and Spanish. A rapper only talks about getting paid. And most rappers that talk about getting paid never make money. It's all an illusion. Hip hoppers do for the community. A hip hopper is part of a movement. Hip means right now. It's hip. It's fresh. It's right now. It's who you are. Hop is the movement. So it's the right now movement. Most people that claim real hip hop culture work in the schools. They teach the babies. I was at Harvard University 4 years ago. They had a whole hip hop scholar panel of young people, scientists. They was going to school getting PhDs. These were young people like y'all. And they was using hip hop as chemical formulas and teaching the babies. And one guy created a curriculum with books to teach young kids through rhyming and how to spell and do incredible stuff for the millennium. Incredible. That's a hip hopper. KRS-One had a word. He said, we hip hoppers. See, most of y'all can call yourself no hip hoppers because the words sound embarrassing to you because hip hopper is work. A rapper don't put in work. A rapper visualizes a dream of working in the streets. A hip hopper actually goes to the streets and works. It's a culture. To learn this culture is to know the culture, and to know better is to do better.